EmptyThoughtsStudios proudly presents No Man's Sky Planet Showcase.
Today's Planet Showcase takes place within the shameless Empty Thoughts Studios system on the planet Telectia. Just for the record, like having the GEC input the name, bad. Dealing with an automated system, worse. Way worse. One of my first sights upon arriving at Telectia was a lake off in the distance, as you can see there, which gave me hope that this planet would be more than a dust bowl like my starter planet. Little did I know at that time that this planet was covered with far more water than expected, and was about a 50-50 ratio between land and water. The lake ahead of us is again just a small example of the water masses that exist on this planet. I decided I was going to go in for a closer inspection to see if I could find any life in the water. But before I did, I better find some civilization to restock at, considering, I was hiding out for quite a while from the law, and I didn't destroy no Sentinel robots. From the moment I landed, I had a strange feeling, as though I was being watched. I couldn't shake it, and I just had to take a look around to see what it was that could potentially be bothering me. Little did I know at that point that my old adversary had somehow managed to follow me from my first planet. Where are you? Where are you at? I hear you. What? Oh, I see you. Somehow the scurry bugs, a species I thought I personally drove into extinction on the last planet, had managed to find their way here as well. And let me tell you, they hadn't forgotten about the grudge they bared against me. They hadn't forgotten at all.
You gonna do something about it? Huh? You want a piece of me?
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. What? You think you'd take me? Little did I know at that point that single scurry bug was merely a diversion, so the rest of the colony, which is nowhere to be found right now, could move my ship to the top of that iron ore. Like, I mean, how am I supposed to get that? It's just up there. It's like, who does that?
I hate that crap.
After several hours of trying to get up there myself with my jetpack, I finally caved and went inside and asked the GEC inside if he'd call triple GECs to tow my vehicle off the rock. I didn't want to pay. It was a pretty hefty fee of units, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. That thought aside, I decided to pick up my plan exactly where I left it off and see if by any chance I could find any kind of life inside one of these lakes. I mean, they must have something. So let's take a peek inside this lake and... oh, there's some dots. There's something in here. Let's take a peek at what this is. Oh wow, that's big. What are you? Hello? There's some little dots in here too. Oh, puff beaks. What are you? Hey, what are you? Razor-toothed shark. That does not sound friendly at all. Not at all. Jesus. Go away. I wanna get a great close look at you. I wanna take a closer look at those other things. Puff beaks. Get the hell out of here. Go away. Sneak in behind him. Is he down there? Oh shit, he knows I'm here! Oh Jesus Christ! Don't make me shoot you! I'm not afraid to go back to space jail! You stay back. Stay away. Don't you dare. Hey, I see you! Get away from me! Get away! Running out of oxygen too? Get the freaking hell out of here. Swim low! Swim low! Is it behind me? Wait, what? Oh my God, there are more than one of you in here! Hey, you stay back too. I told you, buddy. Swim fast, swim fast, swim fast, swim fast. Don't get eaten, don't get eaten, don't get eaten. I'm on land, what now? After my near-death encounter with the razor-toothed shark, I decided to find some more peaceful waters to continue exploring the other aquatic life. This seems rather safe, right? No, I hope you all enjoyed that live feed. My editor felt that would be very funny to include. I felt my life flash in front of my eyes. But that aside, as you can see here, we have some of the other
life. There are some puffed beakers. I believe earlier I called them puffed beaks. And before that was a bloatfish. The two look very similar, aside from the fact that the beakers have long snouts. Here you can see a rare sight, as some bloatfish somehow made their way onto land, and yeah, this is what happens to a fish out of water on Telectia. It's a weird environmental thing that, honestly, even as an expert, I personally have no understanding whatsoever of what exactly we're seeing here. I think they're merging into superfish, perhaps, in an attempt to drill through the ground to get back to water. No one can really be sure what this is we're seeing. I am honestly as confused as each and every one of you right now. Can we maybe cut to something else, please? Please? As previously mentioned, about 50% of Telectia is covered in water, which, as one may assume, can lead to a great deal of precipitation. So for small encampments such as this one, which lie in low valleys surrounded by mountains, that can lead to a great deal of flooding. After spending my night sleeping on the Gek interpretation of a waterbed, come morning it was time again to continue with my adventure. Despite their intimidating size, paddletails, as named for their paddle-like tail, just prefer to be left alone. Another example is, this one's here just minding his own business, bebopping to the tunes. Then he sees me and he's all like, "Oh no, you can't see me dance," and exits stage right. Bye! Bye-bye. Here we can see Lizzies. Did I enunciate that enough? There are 3 Z's. Anyways, Lizzies and feathered Lizzies are of the same species and are often found together in family units, as you can see. These family units, however, sometimes get encroached upon by predators, such as the 6-legged wolf you can see here. Watch as it cautiously stalks its prey. Species can be found intermingling like this all across Telectia, as we also see manus-limbed wabroozles and spearheads, which, surprisingly, despite the difference in appearance, are also the same species. And they look really different. I mean, look at that. And, no spearhead, and up spearhead. Here we see some continued interspecies mingling, as we get a closer look at manus-limbed wabroozles, with some grumble hunches in the background. We also get a slightly better look at a spearhead as it approaches. Acting on the tips from some local Gek, my journey continued south towards some ruins, where as word had it, there was a community of Grumblehunch which had isolated themselves from the other animals of Telectia. This was indeed a rare opportunity, as most animals were very communal, even interspecies-wise. When I arrived there, I found the Grumblehunches to be very accepting of me, after I fed them, of course. As you can see, the Grumblehunches, the antlered Grumblehunches being no exception, really enjoy being fed. And after being fed, they kind of get all hyperactive. And look at him go. Look at him. He's like a jackalope. You guys all get that way when they get fed? Hello? Hey, oh, where'd he go? The hell? Where'd he go? Oh, look at him go! Run! Yeah. Here we have a real close look at a Grumblehunch, which name really is befitting. They seem just kinda miserable. After spending several hours with the Grumblehumps, I discovered that the creatures are rather misunderstood. Despite their appearance, they're actually quite happy and playful. And as much as I would have liked to have spent more time with them, I had other creatures to discover on Telectia. My next adventure, and task, was to find the cave hobblers, a species which the local Gek said were rather mysterious and rarely came to the surface. Cave hobblers, in fact, are actually so rare that there's not very much documentation on them within the Gek community. As I looked for a cave to locate them within, my mind raced as to what they could be like, and even look like for that matter. A merchant in a nearby trading outpost claimed to have recently seen cave hobblers outside these twin caves, so I decided to head there to myself and see if I could have any luck finding the mysterious creatures. What I found instead was a new species of scurry bug, which, much like the others, was out for my blood. So I slowly backed away and headed back to my ship, at which point I found this. Again. Like, they just keep doing this to me. What the hell, scurry bug? Not cool. Not cool at all, man. Anyways, after getting back in my ship, I quickly discovered that the scurry bugs had messed with my navigation systems, and I was actually flying blind. And I had absolutely no clue where I was headed. That was just great. It was peachy, let me tell you. So, after flying around all night with no clue whatsoever as to where I was headed, or how to get back to any locations that I recognized whatsoever, I took the first opportunity I had to land at an outpost and seek aid from the GAC. Well, I landed as close to the outpost as possible anyways. Hey, give me a break here. I mean, I'm lucky I landed that close, honestly. No navigation, I could have landed on the other side of a mountain or in a lake, for Christ's sakes. Anyways, I went in and met with the GAC, which that meeting lasted far, far longer, hours in fact. He told me in order to fix my ship, I'd have to cover myself in the blood of a six-legged wolf. A six-legged wolf, in fact, that had been terrorizing his property. I think he just wanted it dead. 10 seconds to kill the wolf, 10 hours to wash off its blood. Fantastic. But, in washing off its blood, I discovered that the lakes nearby were actually quite beautiful and magnificent. So I decided to take a look around and see just what this area had to offer. As you can see in this lake, there are some bloatfish, a small community in fact, that lives even in this tiny isolated lake away from the main regions of water that you find across most of the planet. Unfortunately, in wandering around looking at the local scenery, I managed to get myself quite lost, and as you can see here, one lake looks exactly the same as every other lake. Despite being indescribably lost, I couldn't help but absorb the scenery in all its beauty. Eventually I found my way back to my ship, and continued on my adventure. The first time I landed after that, I found one of Telectia's most dangerous predators in all its glory, the badger-faced bear. The badger-faced bear is known to hunt prey for miles, endlessly and relentlessly, and can even be known to scale up complete vertical surfaces when after its food, as demonstrated right there. As the predator continued to badger me, no pun intended, I got to observe many of the features that make it not only one of the most dangerous animals on this planet, but also within the galaxy. Look how well it blends in with its surroundings. I got lucky, as this badger-faced bear gave up in favor of an easier meal in the form of a grumblehump. Notice how the other grumblehump here wanders around sort of aimlessly as it mourns its fallen friend and companion. This is known to happen as grumblehumps have a very tight-knit community. As you can see, this badger-faced bear hasn't proceeded to eat its meal yet, and there's a reason for that, as Telectia's other large predator, the six-legged wolf, lurks nearby. These two super predators are commonly seen fighting over meals, and it's really anyone's guess as to which one will win in any fight, as it is they're quite equally matched. After spending a majority of the night waiting for the badger-faced bear and six-legged wolf to fight to the death over a meal, I was sorely disappointed to find out that the most exciting thing that was bound to happen for that night was the two to stare ominously across the field at one another and shoot daggers back and forth before the six-legged wolf eventually decided to move on and find a meal of its own. And so as the six-legged wolf moved on, so must I move on, as my adventure could not end there in disappointment. I continued to search the planet, looking both high and low, before I eventually came upon my next find in the form of the sloth-faced bat. Upon finding the sloth-faced bat, I came to realize several things about the GAC, at least the GAC on this planet. They really like naming things based on body parts. Face this, leg that, limb blah blah blah, tail. They're kind of lazy about it. The second thing I realized was I was told that the sloth-faced bat was rare and elusive. The GAC referred to a lot of things as rare and elusive, but as you can see here, they're quite common, and they're found in large groups flying literally all over the place. Don't get me wrong, I didn't find the sloth-faced bat immediately by any means, but this isn't the sort of thing where you go, oh hey, look over there, and suddenly discover every animal on the planet in one go. In general, I think the gecs sometimes use words without fully understanding their meaning, such is the case with the words rare and elusive. Although the words were properly used to describe cave hobblers, as you can see here, the description is anything but accurate when it comes to sloth-faced bats. Perhaps it's simply a miscommunication on my part, or misunderstanding. Maybe the gec word for rare and common are very similar, or exactly the same for that matter. It's kind of unbeknownst to me at this moment. But, as stated, these, not rare, not elusive, case closed, mystery solved. Having had my fill of the sloth-faced bat, it was time to use some magic and BAM! I'm in my ship. Ta-da! Anyways, I continued my adventure in search of more creatures, but before I could discover more creatures, I first had to discover that the scurrybugs had once again sabotaged my ship. Notice how I try to initiate landing. Oh, landing area not clear? Bullshit! The scurrybugs had indeed sabotaged my landing sensors, and so I flew around for a while. And by for a while, what I really mean is until my ship ran out of plutonium and I crash-landed. Luckily, I crash-landed near one of the few remaining creatures on this planet I had yet to document. The large and rather majestic knuckle runners. Knuckle runners are most often found in family units, and really enjoy socializing not only with themselves, but also interspecies, as demonstrated here. Families of knuckle runners and anglestriders are often seen traveling together, as the two have a quite symbiotic relationship. Anglestriders have a keen sense for finding food, which knuckle runners lack almost entirely. In turn, knuckle runners protect anglestriders from predators, as it is that knuckle runners have no natural predators whatsoever. As you can see demonstrated here, even at a young age, knuckle runners are left to freely roam away from their parents without fear of being attacked by predators. Observing these two species intermingling, even for a short amount of time, shows just how strong the bonds are between them. It doesn't show that? I'm watching. You guys have great bonds. This freaking anglestriders think they know everything. Hey, you touch my ship? No? Better not have touched my ship. Despite having traveled to the far corners of Telectia in search of its many creatures, I had yet to see a cave hobbler. I knew I had no choice but to go in the very caves where the scurrybugs would be waiting for me. I flew all day and deep into the night, with no luck of finding a cave that I felt safe in entering. After hours of searching from the air, almost quite aimlessly as one could say, I finally decided that my search would be best suited if I took to foot. As I walked around, I hoped I could find a cave that contained cave hobblers without having a scurrybug nest. Just as I was beginning to lose hope that I'd ever be able to see a cave hobbler without coming with an armed escort, I found the perfect cave lying over the next ridge. As I first entered the cave, I cautiously explored the area in front of me for any signs of scurrybugs. As it was, I never knew when or where they might attack from. New scanning upgrades I had received from the gec would help me locate any scurrybugs if they were in the immediate proximity. The odds were in my good favor tonight, as I quickly found a cave hobbler before I ever encountered any scurrybugs. I decided to take the opportunity to document as much as possible about the cave hobbler by feeding them to see how they'd react. Much like many of the other creatures on this planet, the cave hobbler became wild and excited by being fed. Notice how it, despite its name, hobbler, becomes very fast until it runs out of energy, and then it returns to its namesake. Upon exploring even deeper in the caves, I found an entire family of cave hobblers, who all moved rather quickly as though they had just been fed. So unless some other explorer was here just before me, they're more hyper than their name would let on. Perhaps cave hobblers are another example of geeks not fully understanding the words they use, or having different definitions, or maybe the cave hobblers that had been seen in the past were rather slow and sluggish due to their relative location to the surface. I decided to continue even deeper within the caves to see if perhaps I could get a look at yet more cave hobblers. I wondered rather aimlessly, which seems to be a tendency of mine lately, but I rathered deeper and deeper within the caves, following their ever-narrowing corridors with hopes of finding the cave hobblers. Instead of finding more cave hobblers, though, I managed to come upon the scurry bugs. True to their nature, the scurry bugs were not happy to see me and quickly attacked. Luckily, I had some solid ground to stand on, so to speak, in the form of this iron that they couldn't manage to get on, for whatever reason. Hive mind failed you there, didn't it, buddy? As I snuck past that scurry bug, I continued my search, deeper, hoping that perhaps that was the only scurry bug I'd see. My journey continued in relative peace until it was I accidentally wandered upon a scurrybug nest entrance. I note that the scurrybug entrances are easily notable, as it is there is a scurrybug scout waiting, as seen here. Scurrybug scouts need taken out. After taking my fury out on yet another scurrybug nest, I knew it would no longer be safe for me to park my ship just anywhere. So it was, I sought to park in the only location I felt safe, where I knew the scurrybugs would not be able to reach my ship, let alone do anything destructive to destroy my ship. As you can see, this location is very secure. Well, secure from the scurrybugs and myself as well, unfortunately. I don't know how I'm gonna get that back down. Seeing as how I'm shipless, I guess that kinda concludes our video of Telectia. I hope you folks enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. You know, if I can manage to get my ship down, that is. But either way, always remember, EmptyThoughtsStudios. We got you.